the construction of a new bridge in Bowden Hill, St. Andrew began. The mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew said the bridge, which had collapsed in February of this year, would be completed in approximately 10 weeks. However, residents and business owners are now overwhelmed by the delays of the project, combined with heavy rainfall now placing them in grave danger. One particular business owner says the KCMC doesn't care about the well-being of the residents of Bowden Hill District or Erie Castle. She says businesses have been suffering since February when the bridge collapsed and workers have been laid off. She adds that members of the community had to make a road across the river, adding that on a weekly basis they have to maintain the road in order for persons to traverse to and from the community. The Hermitage has reached its maximum capacity and is now overflowing, she says. She adds that persons were cut off from their homes on Friday and cost for transportation has increased. While she knows that the Member of Parliament for the area has been trying, she says contractors and other relevant authorities are dragging their feet. The official launch of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project took place today. According to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the project is part of the government's strategic development plan to unlock growth prospects for the eastern end of the island. Here's Christine Forbes with this report.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the project is a part of the government's strategic plan to unlock growth in the eastern end of the island.
Include improving the main southeastern road corridor from Harbour View in St. Andrew right through to Port Antonio in Portland, and we probably will stop at that restaurant Ambassador Chief. That's 110 kilometers of roadway. And then we will go Morant Bay to Cedar Valley, 26 kilometers. And all of this to increase commerce and spur economic growth and development.
Also among those present at the launch was Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Fenton Ferguson, who noted that the project started under the leadership of then Prime Minister P.J. Patterson.
The stated intention then was to open up the parish of St. Thomas to housing, tourism, agriculture, sports and culture, and to a wide range of necessary investments. This was all towards the end goal of economic growth and job creation.
According to the Vice President of the China Communications Construction Company, the project is not just a step towards improved infrastructure, but also the strengthening of the partnership between Jamaica and China.
It's not only the road and bridge we will build, but also the connection, trust, and friendship we will make together. Not only the transportation will be definitely improved, but also the opportunity and the prosperity will be further developed in this region.
Christine Forbes for CVM Live.
Increasing per capita income drives growth. Words from the chairman of the Caribbean Alternative Investment Association, who also believes that focusing on reducing the debt to GDP ratio is not the only measurement for Jamaica's economic growth. Khadija Thomas reports.
We feel like we're getting somewhere. But when you look at the numbers, we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting the growth.
Jamaica's growth brought into question by the chairman of the Caribbean Alternative Investment Association.
The ultimate objective, is to move the per capita income. That's the objective. It's not to reduce debt to GDP. It's not to show better fiscal discipline. Those are means to the end. The end is to move income per person.
While noting that access to alternative finance is needed, Williams says the capital market is not growing as it should.
You can't tell me that you're going to solve access to financing at the Jamaica Bankers Association. We know that we've been down that road. We did that in the 90s and it failed. So we know it's not a banking problem. This is the problem. We need alternative financing.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Development Bank of Jamaica, Paul B. Scott, adds that the private market has sufficient funding to lend in contributing to the country's growth.
The reality is that money that's going to come into the private system has to go and work because we have an open exchange rate here. So if we do not create opportunities for capital to flow to yield and return, it will find return somewhere.
They were speaking at the official launch of the Caribbean Alternative Investment Association, which is aimed at promoting the expansion of private capital and other alternative investment instruments. Khadija Thomas, CVM Live.
2019 marks the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the International Seabed Authority, ISA, and the entry into force of the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. In celebrating, the ISA prepared a year-long calendar of events in Jamaica and New York, which included World Oceans Day on June 7. On Friday, the events culminated in the opening of the International Conference on the legal, scientific, and economic aspects of deep seabed mining. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, used the opportunity to address the regulations of deep seabed mining. She says it is critical that international attention be given to the ways in which to protect and conserve marine resources.
It is for this reason that Jamaica places such great importance on the adoption of a legally binding treaty to conserve and protect marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction, the BBNJ. Jamaica believes that there is merit in examining the existing institutional framework, particularly within the context of the International Seabed Authority, to support the implementation of the treaty.
Johnson-Smith adds that the issues being considered under the treaty would complement the benefits of deep seabed mining. At the same time, she says there is the opportunity for increased cooperation among international organizations tasked with overseeing activities in the oceans to ensure consistency and better protection of the marine environment. Johnson-Smith also highlights Jamaica's commitment to maritime development.
Ladies and gentlemen, with our long history of involvement in maritime affairs, Jamaica remains committed to the development of rules and standards in international shipping, as well as the promotion of maritime development, particularly in the Caribbean region. We're therefore seeking re-election to the Council of the International Maritime Organization for the period 2020 to 2021. In spite of the many challenges, Jamaica has also been paying attention locally to the protection and preservation of the marine environment. Enshrined in our Vision 2030 is goal number 4, which seeks to ensure that Jamaica has a healthy natural environment. This goal recognizes the importance of the natural environment and the need for harmony among development activities, environmental sustainability, and conservation of the country's natural resources.
The tourism product development company is working to regularize the operations of local tourist businesses in the parish of Portland. A recent meeting was held with the various stakeholders to discuss the process in carrying out this action. Here's Khadija Thomas once more.
The Tourism Product Development Company works with local tourism associations to ensure that they are operating at the highest standards. Recently, a meeting was held to highlight issues in the sector while offering solutions for growth.
So the captain license, the lifeguard training. After this, we're going to move to the Team Jamaica training, which is our flagship program at TPD Cup. For everyone in the hotel industry, tourism industry, you have to have that certification when you're doing your licensing.
According to Mr. White Wong from TPDCO, the meetings are drivers for improvement in the tourism sector.
But the only way that future can happen is if you guys keep doing what you're doing. In terms of following the regulation, behaving, customer service is the key. And we can't have people smoking weed in your hand and talking to a tourist. Just a while ago, the Marine Police vessel coming in with no lifeguard, with no life jacket on the vessel, right? Two female on it, no life jacket. I mean, not even, the person was swimming and then it came on, but they didn't even have it on the vessel. That's an issue.
Also present at the meeting were members of the Portland Police Division, encouraging those present to adhere to the prescribed guidelines for operating in the parish.
You have an opportunity, golden opportunity, a protected area to operate in. Your responsibility first and foremost is to protect that, because when you protect this area, protect the activities that are supposed to go on inside here, respect the procedures that are set. you are protecting your livelihood, that of your family, and the persons who benefit from the space.
In response to this, the local tourism associations from the Blue Lagoon and Alligator Head Foundation made a commitment to conform to the highest standards.
And we're here from Alligator Head to say to you, where you don't have the ability to get it done, where we can support you, that's what we want to do.
We want something to enforce, like tomorrow we want the assistant at the tourist resort patrol people them to work with us and help us run the sheet, and we explain to them the terms and conditions to keep the place regularized.
Khadija Thomas, CVM Live.
The Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, was among those celebrating the recipients of the Civil Servant of the Year awards. The award is given to a person who has stayed committed to duty and has contributed tremendously to the public sector. Christine Forbes reports.
The 8 persons that were shortlisted for the Civil Servant of the Year award were collectively celebrated at the awards ceremony held recently. The ceremony is a part of the Civil Service Week activities that recognizes those who have contributed tremendously to the wellness of the public sector. Minister of Finance and Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, congratulates the nominees on a job well done.
By honoring those who exhibit certain values at the workplace, we aim to transmit those values throughout. Because excellence is not a skill. Excellence is an attitude or a habit. Excellence is what we do every day. And what we want is to move to higher and higher levels of excellence.
The awards came from 3 categories: technical, middle management, and management. Candice Henry, Sophia Levy, and Celia Lindsay. The 2017 Civil Servants also commended the awardees for their hard work.
I wish to acknowledge you for being the phenomenal individuals you are and for a job so well done. May you continue to shine and be an example for your colleagues. To have gotten thus far simply means that you are all winners.